Welcome back, boys and girls. Got something kind of excited I wanted to show you about. This is not an unboxing video, but it might as well be an unboxing video. And I don't really necessarily like unboxing videos, but I'm really excited about this little knife, and I wanted to kind of show it off because this is by far the most simplistic but yet bougie knife I've ever handled. It's it's neat. It really is. Try to keep my light to stay somewhat normal here. But I just got it today. I found it here, I don't know, a year or so ago when I'd seen this knife. And I was like, interesting. So happened to be right place, right time, and got this knife. So probably want to know what this knife actually is. And well, I'm hitting all kinds of buttons here trying to get this to stay on this light here so it doesn't keep blowing it out. Anyways, this is an Urban Husky by Anderson and Copra or something like that. It's a Swedish knife. The steel on it is we'll get to that. We'll talk about that pretty soon. I wanted to kind of show this packaging off because it's a neat packaging. I don't know how many of you guys are used to heli knives, but I've reviewed a few and they have a much bigger tube kind of thing. So is this a Swedish thing? Do you know if this is kind of just how people in Sweden, or how knife makers in Sweden deliver knives, is in a tube? I mean, in America, we got bubble wrap or a box in a bag. But anyways, I just thought it was really neat. So I wanted to actually show this because, again, it's so simplistic. I mean, it's a glorified toilet paper roll. But it's still kind of bougie. It's kind of neat. And there's the information on that. If you can see it, model number and all that stuff. If you want to look it up, see if you can find one. They aren't cheap by any means. They're kind of expensive. You may want to have a drink after you have one, and just so y'all know what's in the glass tonight is a nice little maker's mark. Number 46, Bill's recipe. Not a bad little sipper, especially when you can find this about 40 bucks a bottle. I wouldn't spend much more than that on it. It's good, but I don't know if it's $45 good. Definitely $40 good. Every once in a while you can find them for like 35, at least in Iowa. So anyways, back to this. They send you this little sheath. It comes with it, nice little leather sheath. We'll talk about that in a little more detail. Some information about the company. Try to get some of that in there. Looks like it's a husband and wife team that do this. And again, more glorious information. And of course, take a closer look, maybe show you something that you don't have, or no, let's talking just about this knife. So yeah, I guess it comes with a little story. Handmade with high-end materials. So we'll get to that. And there's also in here, I don't know if that's glued in. Nope, it's not glued in. It's just wrapped in there tight. They give a little Allen key with this. Is that an Allen? Yeah, it's an Allen. I was checking to see if it's an Allen or Torx. To be able to tighten or loosen or maybe even disassemble this knife all the way. So, yeah. Give a little bit of use things, keeping it sharp, clean, and dry, how to store it. So, not bad. I mean, just some little info for care. So, let's talk about the sheath real fast. It is a nice, fairly nice leather sheath. Fit on it is really good so far, but I mean, it's day one. I expect it to. I also expect it to break in, but the fitment's good. It actually took a couple times pulling this in and out to get it to break in. It was a little tighter than this even. So I think it'll form right around that real nice and fit in there. I think it would have been cool if this would have had like a little alti clip or a little pocket clip with this. I think that would have been really classy having that option as well, because this just dropping right into the pocket, and I think that would be how I'd want to do that. But one other thing is, when they dyed this, I noticed this earlier. Let's see if we can get it to focus here. Can you focus on it? There we go. When they dyed this, they didn't dye this outside edge. And to me, that's just, man, why not do that? Especially if you use a little glue in this. Some folks use a little glue when they put these together, which is perfectly normal and fine, but it leaves a little darkening and stuff. If you go ahead and tan that, dye that, or whatever at the same time, it can help eliminate the look of that, if that's what that is, or it could just be dye runoff. I can't tell for sure. I'm not going to look that close at it. But that's also something that I'll probably oil this sheath up with what I like to oil my leather goods up with, and I'll do that and it'll be fixed. So, and I like to do that anyways to anything leather I get. If you want to know what I prefer, ask in the comments. So back to this little thing. Again, it is simplistic. It is so thin. Let me give something for representation. I have, what do I have on me? I have my Hogue Deca and Magna Cut. So we know this is a nice little everyday carry. Still like a 3 1/4 inch long blade. Good little, you know, decent all around size knife. Not a big one, not a small one. You know, as Goldilocks would say, it's just the right size. So when you put this side by side, it's kind of comical, even just closed, that it is, this looks big sitting next to that. It's kind of crazy. Try to get that highlight to stop blasting out on you. It's reading so much black back here. When I do that, it takes it away. Anyways, so let's try to compare these and make the lighting bad. It is probably going to be almost impossible to tell exactly how much of a difference there is, but that's, you know, a full finger width. I mean, let's put it on this side. Look at that. That's the whole knife handle and everything. This thing is just taking that concept of simplifying and just, you know, stripping away to what is it that we actually need. When I seen this, I thought for sure that I would be able to take this and like flip it open or something and open it. And if you loosen that, you might be able to. I don't know how loose I want to get this, and I don't want to adjust it yet. I want to actually use this. This is going to be a carry. This is going to be a user. I want to actually see what this is like in actual work. I found by most Swiss-made products that I've owned with like Holtz Brooks Wetterlings and the such, that they may be pretty in a sense, they may be collectible, they may be nice, but they've all been made to work. I mean, Helly's a Norwegian company, but right there in the same neck of the woods, they're made to work. Mora is one that's up there as well. So I want to see if that concept still reigns true and see what this is like for an everyday carry. It is so stinking thin. That steel, let's get back to that. That's a 14C N or 14C 21N or whatever. You know, I was so excited. Let me shut this fan off for a second. I was so excited. I should have just read this fancy box I was showing off earlier. And it tells a little bit more information. Like handmade with high-end materials in, I think it's Southernburg, or it's missing one of the letters there because of the toilet paper roll. Sweden. Sandvik 14C 28N, not 21N. I don't know what I was thinking. And it shows they do have one in a Damascus steel Damascus. Stainless steel pivot screw, phosphorus bronze washers. So this does have phosphorus bronze washers. So I wonder how smooth that'll break in. 1.5 millimeter brass or copper, vegetable tan leather from, boy, their words are challenging for this boy. No, I'm not even going to insult myself. Rockwell hardness of a 63. 63 Rockwell on a 14C28N. I don't know if I know anybody else running it that hard. Do you know anybody else treating Sandvik that hard? I always thought they were a little lower Rockwell when most people did them. So I'm really intrigued now on how this blade's going to work. And since I skipped over a few other things, this is just going to be in the middle of the video. I wanted to show off like the little puppy symbol there. Just kind of some of the simplisticness and how much branding, well, I'll leave that open, how much branding there is. So you have the puppy down there at that end. You have, looks like a logo of some kind on the blade itself. If we could stay focused and get lighting right. And that is, looks like an A on one side, an hourglass, and an O on the other, or a C. Probably a C for Anderson Cooper. And then on this side here, I don't know what side's the show side and what side's the go side. It just says Anderson and Copra, or Cupra, however you say it. But this edge, when I started looking at that a bit more, here a little closer, it's got some texture to that. I mean, it's come on, stay focused, will you? Let's see if I click on it here. You stay. Just want to show some things off. But it's actually got enough texture there. You can hear it. It takes some fingernail off and stuff. So I mean, you can use this as a nail file. Look at that. It is now officially a multi-tool. It's got a nail file. I mean, simplistic and multi-tool. So your multi-tool weigh like next to nothing. I think 2 ounces, maybe 2.5. I don't know. This thing's light. But still solid. Anyways, I went over the gripper. I'm going to go over it here in a second, wherever I throw this little bit in, but I wanted to kind of show off a little bit more there. Whatever, Sandvik steel, Swedish steel. I have a couple of knives with that steel, but I've not worked them to be able to tell you that I love it. I know a lot of people compare it similar to a CPM 154. I have worked and sharpened a CPM 154 a few times, so I get a little better idea, and I've liked that steel. That steel's been really nice. So if this is in the same market or same area as that for ease of sharpening and ability to hold an edge as well, because it has it should have a pretty good balance, you know. Hopefully it's, you know, I bet it's pretty, hopefully it's stainless a little bit, but if not, it's all right. I know what oil is, and I don't mind a little patina. But that has a almost stone washed to that full scandi grind. Comes down to a fairly, I mean, it comes down to a nice crisp point by feeling it. It's got a nice stickiness to it. I don't know if I would say it's hair whittling sharp, but I wouldn't want to run my finger up it. If you hear those kids over at the park screaming and yelling, they aren't mine. It's too late for that. It's time to listen to the crickets scream, but that's the life. So the handle on this is a copper handle. It's just a piece of copper that they've bent over, sanded up, drilled a hole and tapped it on one side, and bada bing, bada boom, put a blade in the middle, and they have a knife. It is just that stripping away to what is the bare necessity. And it takes that nice, beautiful, there we go, that nice, beautiful lock back even one step thinner. I mean, or just your, I can't think of what call the normal blades, the old ones that don't lock. Anyways, you know what it is. Tell me how dumb I am for not being able to think of that. Oh my goodness. But anyways, kids across the street got me kind of flustered. It's a all-around really interesting knife that I look forward to being able to carry and see how well it operates. This will be, until I figure out a way, or if that loosens up, a two-handed open for me. I can close it one-handed and feel okay about it, but opening it, I'm not too big of a fan yet. Just, we'll see how it loosens up. Not very heavy. Realistically, I'd say it's probably really close to the Magna Cut Hogue Deca. Let's talk real quick about ergonomics before I go. How does this actually feel to hold? Well, it is a very thin, flat piece of steel that you can get 4 fingers on. That holds in there kind of interesting with this nubbin up here at the top. So with me at 4 fingers, kind of, I can feel it there, but oddly, when you put this on here, that starts closing a little. So you have to bring that thumb back. Me bringing that thumb back moves my grip back a little bit. Still 4 fingers, but my thumb isn't exactly comfortable there. It's a piece of, not steel, I said steel earlier, a piece of copper that is flat and rounded over. It has nowhere near the comfort or ergonomics of even the Hogue Deca, even the poly one. So I'm gonna leave it up open on the ergonomics. It depends on what you're gonna use this for. I don't think that blade's really nice. It's got a decent thickness to it. That blade just looks to me like, man, this would be a fun little whittler, a fun little carver, just a fun little knife. Let's see if it'll cut paper real quick. I have a piece of paper here. Oh, that's not bad there. Maybe, okay. Maybe there's a little, I may drop this a little, but I think there's, so it'll cut. I mean, it's not the sharpest in the world, but oh boy, it ain't dull either. Oh, kind of, yeah, there's a little difference there. Anyways, but it's not dull. It has a fairly thin little edge. It's coming up. It's a scandi grind. I mean, we all know a scandi. It's got its place, and whittling's one of them. It's a nice little thing to have. Actually, that may help with the lighting always wanting to blow out from all the black, but it annoys me. Anyways, that is the Anderson Copra Urban Husky. I'm going to throw this in a pocket. I'm going to carry it around. I'm going to see what I think about it. It's not an unboxing. It's just kind of this is what you get. It is a very bare, essential, to the point knife that is still bougie and just kind of classy. And this, I think, I don't know. I think this is kind of one of those knives that it may get people talking about knives. I see a lot of people. I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people over the next couple of weeks, and I think a couple of them even watch my channel here, that are going to see this knife. Because I'm going to show it off to them and be like, check this thing out. And they're going to be like, I think I could make that. Because a lot of people that I work with or go visit and see are pretty handy people. And realistically, this handle, boy, it wouldn't take a whole lot to make. At Sandvik steel, though, I wouldn't be able to make that. Or I wouldn't be able to heat treat it and stuff like that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Ask any question you'd like to ask. Tell me what you think about something like this. Is this too thin? Is it too narrow across this? I mean, I didn't even show how narrow it is. There's a little bit of an angle there with the camera, so you can't really see it square on. But I'm going to push it up against the back best I can here and not push it away. Oh, it's just sliding right off. That's not going to show it any better. But I mean, you still have some handle on the Hogue Deca on this side even, plus the blade. This may carry real nice. I'll just give you an idea. The sheath and this knife are a lot closer in size than those two are. Thanks for watching. Leave your feedback, please. Give me a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. It helps fund me being able to buy a few of these things and stuff, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Hey, I've already done most of this, but I'm going to throw this at the end of the video. I'm going ahead and treating that with little leather treatment that I like. It doesn't darken too much. It will darken some though, and just to give you an idea of how that'll look. It's not a dye, but to me, let's see if we can focus on this and show you. If you go back in the video and see where I was showing this off earlier, you'll be able to see the difference there, hopefully, of how just a little bit of oil just around that outside edge, it should have came with that. I mean, it really, really should have. That's the way it should have came from the factory to me. For the price of this, a little bit of oil or something around the side. If that's glue, you know, it would never match up, but if it's dye, it'll eventually become the same color, but now it looks kind of cool instead of that raw leather color. Here's a section I haven't done completely yet. Let's see if we can get that to focus on here. Oh yeah. And just a little bit. I don't want to oil the whole thing up yet. I want to see how it kind of patinas in and see what it looks like. But what I'm using is safe for the copper as well, but I don't want to protect the copper too much because I do want it to kind of patina. I want to actually show a working knife versus, hey look, I kept something all in a package and pretty. Which if that's your thing, that's cool. I don't want to get anybody off on a tangent, you know, about being able to keep things pretty and using your shit.